Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at the exciting new weapons that they've dropped this season and going over which ones are probably going to be the best for us to grind out. So starting things off, we have our first Strand Slug shotgun, and it actually has some very interesting perks here, some top-notch stuff. First of all, it's got the Reconstruction of Vorpal, which we're very happy to see in the kinetic slot. Unfortunately, it is Strand, so it loses damage on the kinetic ones. But something much more interesting is that it has Cascade Point, and that is going to be a first for a slug shotgun. This is really cool because it can proc Cascade Point on other weapons, which is typically how you use Cascade Point, is having a bunch of weapons with it and then chaining it back to back on all of them. So very interesting thing here. Probably going to be pretty niche though. Now we have a scout rifle here. This is the Dreaming City scout rifle. They've all been redone this season, so they have new perks and an origin trait. The origin trait is not very impressive to me. It gives you handling if you get shot and then aim down sights. Woohoo. Maybe if that handling lasts a really long time and you could stow it and stuff, it might be good on some DPS weapons, but this is not a very useful trait really. We do, however, have explosive rapid hit on the scout, so it's also a lightweight frame, so good choice for GMs and stuff, but it's a scout rifle. Here we have the Undercurrent, which is going to be the arc wave frame that everybody was hyped about to maybe replace Forbearance, and I can tell you now, it's a disappointment. No chain reaction, nothing really interesting here. It does have lead from gold, which is nice, but then it just doesn't really have much in the tree over here. Attrition orbs might be cool if it counts for just hitting a bunch of different targets, but if it requires you to hit one target repeatedly, absolutely useless. But I guess if you were going to pick this one up, probably lead from gold volt shot or lead from gold attrition orbs if that's good. Now we have a Retold Tale. It's a precision frame, automatically pretty much just makes it a PvP weapon, and it has quick draw and snap. Or you could go for Killing Wind or 1-2 punch to get the super kills, because you could get increased melee damage and finish off supers easier. So kind of up to you what you want to do. And pretty straightforward, it's a shotgun for PvP. And now we have Eye of Soul. This is the trial sniper. Everybody was really excited for that. Unfortunately, opening shot and snapshot are both in the same column, so we can't have that. But we can still have something like snapshot with moving target or no distractions, which is surprisingly good. You could use slick draw if you like that with opening shot, but most people don't. Otherwise, there's not really too much to it. It's an adaptive frame. It's not good for PvE, so we don't care about damage perks or anything. Moving on. So here we have Subjunctive, and I'm actually really excited about this. Not only is it craftable here, we actually have some very good perks for PvE here. So first of all, we have the Threat Detector Volt Shot combo, which I think is great. But the thing that excites me more is going to be Shoot to Loot on a 900 RPM SMG, especially with all the changes that are making Double Special less effective. I think this is a really nice pick to sort of replace a Trace Rifle, so to speak, as a legendary weapon. And the fourth column is definitely not too much of a disappointment. We have Attrition Orbs, which I think is great. We still have Volt Shot for literally Shoot to Loot Volt Shot, just like the Trace Rifle we all love. And of course, I think Attrition Orbs could be pretty good on an SMG because you tend to put a lot of shots into enemies with these. So definitely an interesting pick here. We have a very utility focused SMG with this one, and I really like it. And since it's craftable, you can actually get this. Here we have Doom Petitioner. This is the seasonal linear fusion rifle. Actually has a very good origin trait because you can reload your weapon whenever you reach critical health, or if an ally dies, I guess, but that's kind of whatever. And you also get some bonus stats whenever it happens too. I'm not sure how good it's going to be on a linear because you can't really damage yourself easily with it, but it does get pretty good perks still. We get the Reconstruction Surrounded combo, so it's kind of similar to Briar's Contempt, but it's void now. We also have a new perk called Permeability, which is pretty much just Osmosis, but you use your class ability instead, which I think is a lot better than Osmosis because you don't have to essentially waste your grenade to do that sometimes. And you might actually be able to make this thing match up effectively. Unfortunately, you do sacrifice Reconstruction or Envious, which would be how you would be able to not need to stow it. So it's a little bit unfortunate that this isn't the origin trait on these weapons, because that actually would have been like really cool. Now, when I saw this, I was very excited because this is our first ever slide shot on a rocket launcher. So slide shot has a very short cooldown, zero point 0.3 seconds, which means in theory you could shoot all the rockets off pretty much at the fire rate limit. It's also the best frame for rockets, being an aggressive frame. It gets the full 10% damage buff just like adaptives. And it also has access to some decent damage perks. Unfortunately, it doesn't have bait and switch, but it does have surrounded and bipod. So these are both going to be pretty good perks to combine with slide shot. I think surrounded mainly. I could see this being a very good niche for a surrounded slide shot rocket in certain encounters. We also have access to Clown Cartridge and Bipod, which would essentially let us get 3 in the mag, I want to say. So we have some very interesting combos here. We also have Envious Assassin in Surrounded, or Explosive Light, or even Envious Bipod on a good frame this time. So definitely a very cool rocket here. Gonna need to check this out. And it looks like it's just a world drop because it just has Wildcard. But definitely something I'm gonna want to get. We've got Reeswalker. This just got reprised, and it has pretty much just been upgraded. Yeah, so, in the past, the god roll for this thing was pretty much just quick draw Iron Reach or quick draw Vorpal for PvE. Now we have access to Slick Draw, which is just even better than quick draw. So, yeah, I definitely recommend going for this, even if you have the old god rolls. This is pretty much just better. You can also get Opening Shot instead of Iron Reach, which is even better for PvP too. So, Reeswalker definitely going to be worth going for, I'd say. And this is going to be one that excites a lot of people. We've got Breakneck back, and it has Onslaught. So we don't actually know the fire rate that Onslaught is giving us yet, but I imagine it's going to be similar to Desperado or Cascade Point, and this is basically going to be like Rampage, except it gives you fire rate instead of damage. We also have stuff like Tap the Trigger and Harmony and Adagio even. If I remember correctly, Adagio has a pretty nice damage profile on precision frame autos. We also have Shoot to Loot on the kinetic slot, which is pretty rare for automatic weapons in the kinetic slot. Previously we had the Herod C, which was a 360 fire rate auto that had this in the kinetic slot, and it was also from Gambit actually, but this one shoots even faster, so it's probably a better shoot to loot option for PvE also. And moving on, we have the new comp weapon, and this is going to be the Belisarius D. It's a Hake pulse rifle. And as we can see, it has the stocks for the handling or stability. You could also use the Hake origin trait with it. And we can see right away, it has Headseeker and Rapid Hit. It also has access to Kill Clip if you like that, or Zen Moment here if you wanted extra consistency, but I would take Headseeker over Zen Moment any day. Would have loved to have combined them, but whatever. You could also do Keep Away Headseeker. There's a ton of good perks here. This is actually a really interesting weapon here. We also have Vorpal in the wrong slot for once, which is pretty cool. You could do like Vorpal Kill Clip, I guess, to like really destroy supers. I don't know. Weird stuff, but definitely going to be a strong pick here for sure. And now we have the Strand Trace Rifle from Trials of Osiris. This one excited a lot of people as well, and I don't think it disappoints too much. First of all, we have Slice again, same thing as we talked about before. However, we also have access to Envious Assassin, we have Subsistence, and then for PvP, I guess we have Dynamic Sway and Zen. This is more of a PvE weapon though. So pretty much, my go-to is probably going to be Subsistence Killing Tally. I think that's going to be the best perk here. You could also go with Kill Clip or Attrition Orbs for utility. If the Attrition Orbs scales really well, then this is definitely going to be a great pick also. The only reason I don't like Envious on this thing is because typically when you're using a Trace Rifle, it's your ad clear weapon, and you're not going to be clearing ads with other weapons, you'd use your Trace Rifle, so when are you going to really be getting use out of Envious Assassin, right? It would have actually been really cool if this was Ambitious Assassin instead, funny enough. Normally it's a terrible perk, but on specifically ad clear weapons, it's pretty good. So yeah, definitely an interesting pick here, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So here we have Scatter Signal, and this is going to be a Strand Fusion Rifle. So now we have all of the Strand Fusion archetypes covered, except for Precisions, but that's okay. So we have the Origin trait here, where you refill your mag whenever you take a bunch of damage, and we actually have some pretty cool perks here. We have our first ever Rapid Fire frame with Controlled Burst. We also have something like Overflow to get us over the magazine limit. It looks like that's going to be the only real perk in the left tree though, so probably going to be an Overflow Controlled Burst Fusion Rifle here in the Rapid Fire slot, which is pretty cool. I like that. This is pretty much just a one-trick pony, but I think it's a good one trick to have. Next up we have the what the fuck is this called? Next up we have the Ritual Weapon Chivalric Fire. This is one of the first things they announced to us. It's got the Repulse or Destabilizing combo or Attrition Orbs. I think Attrition Orbs will actually proc on this thing pretty well, because caster frames leave behind a little like AoE damage over time thingy wherever you shoot it. So this will probably make decent amounts of orbs. And depending on how well Relentless Strikes works with that projectile, this could actually be a good combo, and Repulsor Brace Destabilizing is, you know, the meme that all the casuals like. It's not really all that good though. Wouldn't recommend it on a sword, really. But definitely an interesting thing here. Probably not going to be meta, but seems like a fun thing at least. So here we have the Lethophobia, and this thing is interesting because it's a lightweight frame, which isn't that good. But boy oh boy, does it have Disruption Break and Impulse Amplifier, so it is going to be the most disgusting thing you've ever seen in the Crucible, I bet. And when it comes to PvE, it's not lacking either with Explosive Head and Successful Warm-Up. So this is actually really unique because Successful Warm-Up normally is in the 4th column. So yeah, this thing is probably going to be really annoying in the Crucible. We'll see how popular it gets, but wow, having Disruption Break on a bow is just terrifying. That scares me so much. Because I'm pretty sure this means that you're going to be able to just pop somebody in the body with this thing to break their shields, and then just switch to a hand cannon and one-shot them with another body shot. I think that that's going to work. So, yeah, that's terrifying. Next. And another exciting one is going to be the Stasis Trace Rifle from the season. This is going to be craftable, so definitely going to be easy to get this thing early on. And it has some insane perks here. So unfortunately, no shoot to loot on the Trace Rifle, but we do, however, have Overflow. We have Clown Cartridge. Both of these are really good, obviously, especially since this will be used in Double Special, where you're basically always trying to get ammo, and you're doing things to make ammo all the time. Overflow and Killing Tally. This is a huge combo, obviously they combine very well together. We also have Headstone on this thing if you wanted it, or Attrition Orbs for a Trace Rifle. Might be good if it's not scaled properly. We'll have to see. And of course it has an Origin trait that reloads your weapon for you sometimes, which is going to be really good for Killing Tally. So I actually think this is going to be a top-notch Trace Rifle. We're definitely going to have to give this thing a go. This will probably be the first thing I craft with the season. So here we have the Marcado 45, a 450 rate machine gun. And this has one really exciting combo, and that's going to be Demo and Golden Tricorn. Aegis is going to be creaming himself over this thing because he was talking about it, how he wanted a Demo Golden Tricorn machine gun. This is it. It's here. This is going to be a really good combo. We also have Onslaught on this thing, the only machine gun to have it, I believe, this season. So it's going to be an interesting pick here. Unfortunately, no other auto-loading trees other than Demolitionist, but Demolitionist can kind of keep up, so that's not a bad thing at all. And that's going to be all the weapons that are being added this season for now. So leave a comment below with what you are most excited about or what you think should be changed. Just let me know.